Hello. So the moment we're waiting for is here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the weekend conference. Please, a round of applause for yourselves. You sat in this hall for quite a bit, patiently. You can do better than that. Please celebrate yourselves. Patience is a virtue, you know. Not a lot of people have such virtue. I've been in the hall with you and I've seen some of you. You sat in this room for about 20 to 30 minutes, patiently waiting, and the moment has finally come. Please, once again, a round of applause for yourself, not for you this time. Look at the person seated close to you and just clap for them. If your neighbor is not clapping for you, you might want to change your seat. Right. Welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again. The WUCAN conference is starting right about now. Women in Career Advancement Network Conference 2026. Who can tell us, without looking at anything, what is the theme for this year's conference? I can come down and bring the microphone to you. Right? But if you do not want me to scout for you, I just need someone to wave confidently and just tell us. Can I get an extra microphone, please? All right. So I need somebody to tell us what is the theme for this year's conference. The reason why you and I are in this room together. I'll need a volunteer to help me with the microphone. Anybody, or I'm going to calm down. Okay, thank you. We have a savior. We're better celebrate if she gets it right. Go ahead. Help me help her turn it on.
Dream, dare, and do.
Please, a round of applause for her, please. What's your name? Let's hear her name, please.
My name is Lydia Aurelua.
Please help me celebrate Aurelua. She just saved us. Celebrate her, please. All right, so Aurelua, I have a package for you at the back. Before you leave, please go for it. Also, my lady in green, Jessica, am I correct? Please help me celebrate Jessica. She's the first participant to come into this room today. Jessica, please, before you leave, at the registration point, please speak of something special for you. Thank you very much. All right. Dream, dare, and do. Ladies and gentlemen, the conference is starting right about now. If you're an exhibitor, please, this is the point where we all get to allow participants to come sit down. Let's all come to our seats. Let's settle down. Let's settle in. There will be time for participants to go around and meet and see what's available at the exhibition end. I already gave a rundown of some of our partners, some of our exhibitors who are here. Zcrest Wealth, Sally's Hair, SQ College of ICT, Aura Scent, JB's Signature, Ronnie's Kitchen, Fit Girls Find, Yomi Station, Jochi's Clothing, Women Lighthouse Hub, Olive's Botanical, and Sin Lab. They are all here. We see you, we recognize you, and to the beautiful women and the gentlemen seated in this very hall, we see you and we say welcome to you. Just in case you missed out when I was introducing myself, my name is Moreni Keji Olonilua, but you can call me Renimo. So if you're a participant and you're standing in front of an exhibitor, I will find you. Literally, I will find you today. Please come and settle down. Let's settle down. The event is starting proper. I still see a man standing before Aura Scent. Please help me send all participants to come sit on their chair. We're starting right about now. To all our distinguished guests, welcome. We say welcome to you. And it's indeed a pleasure to be standing before you to do this with you. Let me ask again, what edition is this very weekend conference? Anybody? All right, so I'll give us time to think through it, and then I'll ask the question again. The lady in brown jacket is thinking. I can see you thinking off your feet. All right, so I'll give us time to think about that properly. If you don't check Google, I'm looking at everyone, all right? But then whoever is able to get that will also go home with a package from me. Please, a round of applause for yourselves. You all look really beautiful. I love the touch of color. I love the hair. I love the makeup. I love the lip gloss. Please celebrate yourselves. It takes effort for a woman to look good. So, okay, if you don't want to celebrate yourself, please celebrate me. And some people don't like that I'm wearing purple. Wow. Once again, celebrate me. And finally, I want us to celebrate the convener of this network in person on Mrs. Eniola Peters. Help me celebrate the woman of the moment. Thank you very much. She'll be joining us on stage for the keynote address in a bit. But before we get into that, we'll take the national anthem. Are we ready? Sound, are we ready for that? Please, let's rise as we take the national anthem. Thank you. Nigeria. Hi. I know that fuel level has gone up and that might be making you itch a bit. But please, once again, let's celebrate Nigeria, our dear country. That's the only country that we have. A round of applause for Nigeria. That's a very small applause. Thank you very much. A quick one, still on the national anthem. How many of us in this room can actually recite this particular one from top to bottom without flinching? I'll give you a backstory. Okay, lovely, lovely. No, it's a good thing, really. Backstory, I was at an event in my daughter's school, and this is 2024. And they said, let us rise for the national anthem. And truth be told, with a loud, I sing in the choir. So with a loud singing voice and confidence, I shouted, arise. And the whole student turned out. It was a very embarrassing moment for me. And I got home and my daughter was trying to teach, my 6-year-old was teaching me, Mommy, this is the anthem. I said, look, I sang Arise, O Compatriot for how many years do we spend from primary to secondary school? So it would take a while for me to get used to this one, but I'm very intentional now. And I'm getting to know it. Please, a round of applause for me. And for that lady who can sing it without flinching, what's your name, please? What's your name? Okay, so before we leave here today, we'll do a test run on that, and then we'll see. Let's celebrate her, please. Okay, so let's break it. I'm going to need us to be a participant of this activity. All of what we're going to be doing here today, I'm not just going to be talking, we're going to be doing it together. There is the verbal and non-verbal communication. So I am doing verbal communication, and you will get to do the non-verbal. That is, you're going to use your body a lot, your hands a lot, maybe a nod. So I want it to be active, all right? So when I banter, I want you to banter back. So we're going to start by doing this. When I say Women in Career Advancement Network Conference 2026, you're going to respond with the theme for today. Oroluwa has been kind enough to let us know the theme. I will not say it. So when I call, everybody will give me feedback. I want to be sure that we have digested it. We know indeed why we're seated in this hall today. Are we ready? That energy is too low. Are we ready? That's much better. All right, let's do test run. Women in Career Advancement Network Conference 2026. I love it. Once again, we can 2026. A round of applause for yourselves. Now we're ready. We have a conference to start. Thank you very much. I will start right in a bit. Please, Ms. Eniola, we'll get ready to give the keynote address in a bit. Today, we're gathered in this auditorium. Different women from different walks of life with various experiences, different dreams, unique assignments. Yet, we're bound by one shared goal today, which is to recharge, to refuel, and to refine our minds. Moving from the comfort zone of dreaming into the courage of doing. Because dreaming is beautiful. I'm sure you had pleasant dreams last night. It's a very beautiful thing to do. But dreaming is not enough. A dream is a seed. And seeds only matter when they are planted, nurtured, and given the courage to break through the soil. Too many of us have stayed in that safe space where dreams are valid. And I tell you, your dreams are very, very, very valid. But actions can feel risky sometimes. Where vision is clear, but your fear is louder. But today, somebody say today. Somebody say today. We dare to step out. We dare to be seen. We dare to fail. We dare to learn. And we dare to rise again. Today, ladies and gentlemen, you and I, we dare to do. We can 2026. Once again, we can 2026. That's more like it. So if you have been a wonderful dreamer, I congratulate you today. You are in the right room where that dream is going to step into another dimension. And that is the dimension of actually stepping out and getting to do. With a round of applause and a standing ovation, ladies and gentlemen, help me make welcome Mrs. Eniola Peters for the welcome address. We can rise and celebrate her. She's the convener for this very conference. You're welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Morenike. Good morning, everyone. Please let's be seated. How does it feel to come out to do something for yourself today? Response? Let's talk now. How does it feel to actually step out to do something for yourself today as a lady? You feel good. How often do you do this? Not often, right? So congratulate yourself. Can you hear me? Awesome. We are always meant to celebrate ourselves, even though the responsibilities, life doesn't always allow it. So, and that's why I had to ask that how does it feel to actually come out to do something for yourself? Now, my name is Eniola Peters. That's what they said. And they said that I am the convener of this conference. And I'm so excited to actually create this opportunity for women to come together, to learn, to network, to grow, to get empowered, and most importantly, to move from step 1 to step 2. Now, most of us are going to leave this conference today better than we came in. So first thing I want to ask us to do is to get your jotters out. If you have a jotter or a notepad, or if you're writing in your phone, because you're going to leave here, you're going to write something in the notes. Please, I hope we all came with our writing materials. because we are going to leave here a different person. Now, you're going to write something about yourself right now that you wish was different. I don't know if that makes any sense to everybody. Can you do that? Volunteers, please, don't just look at me. Engage. Participate. Please, write something about yourself that you wish were different. It could be your lifestyle. It could be your health. It could be your friendship. It could be, oh, I wish I had more friends. I wish I this. I wish I that. I wish I had more time to go out. Something you wish was different about yourself. Please take a moment to write it down. It's a wish. It's a dream. It's a desire. It's something that, bothers you while you're sleeping at night. Write it down. Now, you're going to write another thing that actually works right now, that you love. I love that I have a few friends. I love that I can go out when I want to. Something that actually works. Most times we are tilted towards thinking of the things that don't actually work and forget the things that actually work. So the exercise is to let you see what is working and what you wish was different. So please take your time to actually write what you love right now that is currently happening. I mean, for me, all of you know, what is happening for me right now is that this conference is amazing. I'm so excited. I'm excited already because I love empowering women. It's something I'm very passionate about. So it happening today is something I love that is working. And maybe I'll give you an example of what is not working. I wish I had time to sleep. I hardly sleep. And it's not because I don't have time to sleep. It's just because you close your eyes at night and you're thinking of like 10 million things. What to prepare in the morning for the kids, as for those that have kids. Or if you're working class, you're thinking, what can I? So many things. We women, our heads are always full of so many things. So I wish that was different. I wish I could just act like a man. I mean, I was doing my makeup today, spent 2 hours, and I'm like, dude, can I just go out like this? But the generation of the people that I have around me, they'll say no, So things like that, write it down. Then when you've written it down now, can we take a minute to close our eyes? Now, the theme for this conference is dream, dare, and do. I'm sure a lot of us were intrigued by the theme. Like, what does it mean? Oh, I dream, I dare, and I do. What does it really mean to actually dream and do? Is there anyone here that doesn't have a dream? I'm not talking about the dream that happens when you sleep at night. The one that you fall. Those ones that you now keep falling, and then you wake up, you're awake. Not those types of dreams. I mean, dreams and desires to be somebody. This is who I want to be. This is where I want to go. This is what I want to do. I saw Ibuko Aoshika, and one of my dreams in life is to actually hold such presence like she does. It's a dream. I dream to one day impact 100 girls, 200 girls, 1,000 girls. I dream to one day have a Ferrari. I don't like Ferrari because Nigeria is not good. I dream to one day, we all have a dream. Is there anybody here that doesn't have a dream? Please, let's be honest. Is there anybody here that doesn't have a dream? So we all have a dream, right? We all have a dream. Now, can we close our eyes and think about that dream? What is that dream that you have? What is that one thing that you desire? Dreams can equal visions. The things that you see about yourself, about your life, about your vision, about your future. Not necessarily your present. Because your present cannot determine your future. Yes, you can learn from your present. But see, you can be here today and you can be in your dream tomorrow. I don't know how many of you have had a situation, something happened and you're like, I dreamt of this. Has it happened to anybody? Like things are happening for you and you're like, I actually dreamt of this. I'm living in my dreams. That is what it means to dream. So when you're able to picture that dream, write it down. What is it? I dream to become the number one career development consultant in Nigeria. I dream to become the president's first contact when it comes to career-related issues in Nigeria. It's a dream. Does it sound unrealistic? Does it sound unrealistic? Let's respond. It doesn't sound unrealistic because we're in Abuja, but imagine if I was inside Anambra or one village like that. The first person that hears it will be like, Shebi, you go to Abuja first. Do you understand? But we have a dream, and your dreams are valid. Now, the major issue we have is the part that it is time to dare and to do. That is where we get stuck. Because now, I dream to be the consultant, like career development consultant in Nigeria, and I am not doing anything in that line. Wouldn't I be foolish? Would I just wake up one day and be a career development consultant? Does it work that way? Does it work that way? So I need to do. And in doing, you need to dare. Now, somebody asked me recently, well, not somebody that is far off, Maureen KG, our beautiful MC, she asked me recently and said, Ma, what is your dare? And I said, this conference is a dare. How? Did I have the money to plan the conference? No. But I dared to plan the conference, and see, we're all here. Do you understand? And then next time you see me outside, you're able to say, oh, that is the woman that plans the career conference. Does it make sense? Now, 3 years ago when we started WeCan, it was a small seminar. My beautiful Chizoba, she was one of the speakers. Please, can we celebrate her? That beautiful young lady there. She's a mother of one, don't mind that. You know, and I've never been a women's woman because women know the hear word. Permit me to say that. How many people agree with that? Just your hand like this. We don't hear word. It's only a man that will raise their hand. You know? And, you know, it just came to me. I would say like an instruction. Start a woman in career. Why career? Remember my goal, my dream. What's my dream? To become a career development consultant, right? Now, start a women in career advancement network event. And that name just came like that. And I'm like, okay, we'll do it. However, if they don't listen, me, I'll conk them all. And I started. And look at where we are right now. This is the third event that we are having, gathering women, empowering them, creating a safe space for women to not only, you know, achieve their dream, but to see themselves as someone that is actually valuable. Because we are. Yes, we get carried away with housework, family activities, children, this one, that one. However, we are also women, and we have the capacity to achieve anything we decide to dream about. Nobody can stop you. Not any one person. The only person that can stop you from doing is yourself. Now, I said I was going to share a very important story. I had a mentor, and I said had because it's late. And, you know, when the theme came, that was the person that I thought of. This guy had a dream to own a security firm. By the way, at the time he had that dream, he was just a security man. I'm not talking about all these people that are security officers. I'm talking about security man, all those people that will say, anything for the boys. And he had a dream to own a security firm. That was a dream. And then one day, he went for an event, and they told him, you know those church events, they'll say, oh, write your vision, make it plain, yada, 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 yada. So, he wrote his vision, and then he wrote 100 million naira. By the time he wrote that 100 million naira, he was living in a Face Me, I Slap You in Lagos. Does anybody know? Abuja people are too foreign. You don't know what they call Face Me, I Slap You. I'm not talking about the self-contained. I'm talking about a Face Me, I Slap You. If you move too fast, I'll slap you. That's exactly what it means. And he wrote 100 million, 100 million, 100 million. He typed it and printed it all over his room. So that when he wakes up, he sees it and is excited. That was what? A dream. And he was beginning to dare. So he went for another event and they told him, oh, why not, if you want to start something, register your business and all that. He didn't have money to register his business, but he had his business name. So he had the business name. He had how much he was looking for because he believes that 100 million naira was going to save his life. And it changed the course of his whole entire family. But someone that was collecting 25,000 naira, and then they fired him, which made things worse. But even when they fired him, he woke up every morning looking at 100 million naira on his walls. And the wife at a point started saying, babe, are you sure you are okay? Are you sure we shouldn't remove this 100 million because it's like it's turning your head? The guy said, don't worry. We're going to get it. And then he met somebody and the person said, are you on LinkedIn? He said, no. He said, why not create a LinkedIn account with your company name? And he put it there. Security consultant at so. What was that? Under Dream Dare Do. What does that fall under? Right? He put it there. Then LinkedIn was new. So it's not as saturated now that you see 100 million people writing the same thing. So it was a very unique thing for him. He put it there and he forgot about it. And then one day, somebody say one day. Somebody say one day. He was a security consultant, but he was sitting in his house. And then one day, a German company called him and said, can you provide 100? We noticed you are something. He said, yes. He said, can you provide 100 security? He didn't have anybody. He had not even registered his company name. Nothing. And they said, oh, how much will you charge us? And he said, let me get back to you. And then he went to sit down. He went to Google the company because for an ISFD. He researched the German company. They were real. They were into oil, all this oil, whatever. So they needed security people to protect the oil and all that. And then he started thinking, what can I do? And the guys called back. It was like there was fire in their bomb. They said, we need the response now. Will 100 million naira work? And he sat down and he was like, say? He said, will 100 million naira work or is it too small? He said, it's okay. He said, okay, please send your account number. He had not registered his company. So he quickly went to borrow money. You're expecting 100 million naira. What will you do? He borrowed money, went to register a business name. Then, Nigeria was too fast. Business name, you register it in how many days? He registered it. He opened a bank account. He sent them the money. The money came in. That night, he said, why not put 1 billion? If I had put 1 billion, maybe these people would have called 1 billion. It's not impossible. And that was the beginning of an amazing journey for that man till he died. It was very painful. I used to call him my mentor for I can do anything. Eniola, can you do this? I'll say no. He said, you don't say no. You say yes. And then go and find how to do it. So if you have a dream, how are you daring to do? What steps are you taking towards that dream to achieve it? So that when the people you're expecting calls you, you will not say, those kind of events, you'll be like at a dream. Because you are actually in your dreams. So this conference today is actually to remind us that, number one, your dreams are valid. And number two, you need to take steps to dare. It's a dare. Like I said, this conference is a dare for me. I started my journey as a dare. My life story is a dare. I've dared, and I'm still daring, and I'll continue to dare. Because it's in the daring that I will do, and I'll accomplish everything that I have seen in my dreams. So tell yourself today, what am I dreaming? And what am I going to dare to do to accomplish everything that I have dreamt about. Your dreams are possible. And lastly, please don't stop dreaming. It might sound foolish. It will make sense at the end of the day. And it's in your dream that will inform your next steps. When you have a nightmare and you wake up in the morning, what do you do? Sorry? We pray, right? That's your dream informed your next step. So imagine that you dreamt that you bought a Porsche or a Ferrari, if that is what is important to you. When you wake up in the morning, when you wake up from the dream, what do? Sir? Google it, girl. How can I make money to buy Porsche? Where can I get Porsche? How much are they even selling Porsche? You can't have a dream and don't know what your dream costs. You can't have a dream and you will not know what your dream costs. Why? Why are you wasting your time? Please, do we know what it costs to dream? You want to be the president of Nigeria. Do you know what it costs to be the president of Nigeria? Or you just think you wake up one day and then you're already the president? It doesn't work that way. Are we together? So please, dream. Dream boldly. Dream with all gladness. But don't give up on your dreams. All right? Thank you very much.
I think we can do better than that. Come on now. Thank you very much, Mrs. Eniola Peters. That's a beautiful charge right there. And one of the things that every woman and man in this room will do starting from today is to begin to step out, dare, and do. If that is you, let me hear a resounding round of applause again. All right, so we'll do a quick one now, just so that you know you are not alone. Because as she was speaking, telling us a journey, how do I step out of dreaming, daring to do, some of you might be becoming too critical of yourself. I've been sitting on a particular dream for too long. I want us to do something real quick. Please rise. Just step away from your chair a little bit. Let's rise. Thank you. Just let the music go down a little bit. Okay. So I asked us to rise because I see that a good number of us are. Now let's sit down. Then the game will start proper. Now, are we settled? Can the music go down a bit? Take a stand up if you ever doubted yourself on a particular thing, even though you were very qualified. You applied for something, you were very qualified, but you doubted yourself. Okay, sit down. Take a stand if you delayed starting something that you knew was really important to you. Go today. Okay, sit down. Thank you. Take a stand if you have a dream that you have penned somewhere, but you're still yet to start. Okay. Thank you very much. Sit down. So, you see that you're not alone. I was standing all through. Well, maybe I could have sat down in some cases, but you're not alone. And this conference that you're in is an incubator. That dream is going to move beyond the dream realm today. So look at the person seated next to you and tell them, I will begin to dare and do. Once again, say it affirmatively. I will begin to dare and to do. All right. We want to recognize the presence of one of our speakers for today. Madam President, like Ms. Eniola said when she entered, we have with us Mrs. Busayo Busari Akinyadeju. She's seated in the room. Please help me celebrate her. She will be coming up shortly as our first speaker, right, for the event. Now, While Miss Eniola was giving her keynote speech, I had asked a question earlier that what year or what's that now? What number is this very conference? If you were listening keenly, she gave a hint. So I'm coming back. I see two people that will take extra shit in this room today. She gave us Expo. So I'm going to throw that question at you again. What edition is this year's Weekend 2026? No, I'm not taking answers from that back. No. Okay. So this year's is, you're saying your name, ma?
Ariola.
Sorry?
Ariola.
Ariola. She said it's the 30. Is she correct? Is she correct? I do not think she should clap now. I didn't say she should clap. We'll find out if she's actually correct or not. But thank you so much for answering that question. Despite the fact that you were not even here when I asked. I'm going to ask you, because you were nodding. Is she correct? Is she correct? All right. The next question, what was the theme of the very first? Well, let me put it this way. Was it a conference or a seminar? I don't want to answer from that back. Was it a conference or a seminar? She said it if you were listening. I'll come back to it. Miss Ariola, I'll let you know if you are very, very correct in a bit. All right, so let's move on. We're supposed to have the next keynote address, but while we're waiting to have Mrs. Unkwo Onka, who will be joining us, and in fact, today is really packed. If you had the opportunity to go through the flyer, you will see the speakers that have been curated for this event, and you will see the intentionality in all of it. They're not just names. They were not just handpicked for the sake of, social media. It was a thorough thought process, looking at how women can actually benefit and step out and begin to do. It is my great pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, to bring up stage the first speaker for this very conference, Weekend 2026. We have with us Bisayo Busari Akiadeju. She's a Nigerian lawyer, politician, and humanitarian. The brain behind the I Am a Nigerian Conference, a Project One initiative focused on youth development, patriotism, and realigning Nigeria as a nation of opportunities. Some of the activities focusing on nurturing the future of Nigeria through community actions, including charity and skill development. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Bisayo Busari Akiadeju, our very first speaker for Weekend 2026. It's indeed a pleasure. You're welcome, ma'am. Let's celebrate her once again.
Thank you, everyone. Please, can we be beautifully seated? Good morning, Nigerians. And if you are non-Nigerian, good morning as well. Welcome to the Dare Do Dream Conference 2026. If you're happy to be here, please give yourself a round of applause. You are the real deal. So before I go on, I just want to acknowledge, I call her Eniola, and I've called her Eniola for it's almost going to some 20 years right now. It's been a long time knowing Eniola, way back from OAU days. I see you doing great things. I'm proud of you. And I'm privileged to be standing on this stage right now to be speaking to fellow women and the gentlemen in our midst, as well as my own husband. Thank you. So thank you so much, really, for having me. And, before I go, I wrote some few things down because I want to touch on it. But it's also very good. I heard the introduction to give you a little bit of snippet into who I am. She mentioned something. She said, you need to dare. And, I think I'm an epitome of dare. In fact, I'm running a campaign in Nigeria this year into next year. How many of you know when the presidential election is? What month? January. It's actually January 16, the new date. How many of you know that we have a president who is not only powerful, very rich, and is an incumbent? You know how difficult it is to take someone that is an incumbent out of position. You know that, right? So come January 2027, I'll be contesting in Nigeria for the office of the president. If there is nothing like dare, that is dare. I dare to stand up for Nigerians. I dare to stand up for the 200 million Nigerians and above that are regarded as the majority, whose votes do not count. So I'm daring. And so when I start to speak with us today, please, if you've never dared in your life, you need to dare. Those who dare are those who eventually have something. If you keep sitting in your comfort zone and you said, this is not for me, then it will not be for you. And that's the story of most of us in Nigerians. We believe that, can we dare? Can I do it? Can I achieve it? Is it possible? Your brain goes into that state that tells you, no, it is not for me. Who is my father? You know, I studied law, and I could remember they told us in our first year at the law school that law is a course for those who have fathers. So if you don't have a father in the legal profession, you need to come correct. You don't want your client to see you driving out in a jalopy when your client probably came in the first class Benz. So it's the way you appear that will determine the kind of client you get. But most of us have decided to change the narrative, and that's what I'm speaking to us about today. I wrote some things that I don't want to go off it, so I'll still pick part of it. And the first thing is, what are the topics that we have today? You need to dream, you need to dare, and you need to do. Most of us have left to dream, and we believe it's for the night. But dreaming is actually not for the night. Dreaming for a professional, for an active person, is an exercise of intellectual capacity and engagement, which means you need to learn to step out of your comfort zone and imagine. It's an output of your imagination. Every human being is created to be able to see that vision, to look into it and believe that it is a possibility. When you do not dream, you cannot act. And that's the truth. So you need to create that period for yourself where that it's not, you might think it is not practical. They say we're often taught to be practical before we're taught to be powerful. We're taught to do the work before we're allowed to have what we will call the reward. But I'm telling you that we need to change that. There's one thing that no promotion or paycheck can provide. That's the permission to be audacious. I once read a book while I was in the university written by Barack Obama, and it calls it The Audacity of Hope. That is an example of daring and doing. Prior to Obama becoming the first black president in the United States of America, the world would say it is an impossibility for a black man to sit at the White House. Black, white. It doesn't fit. But he did. It is not a White House, and he went in there. The outcome of his going is not for debate today. But did he dare? Yes. Was he able to do it? Most of us, we put the block on our journey before even the blocks were put there. And the only person you need permission from is yourself, not any other person. If you are of faith and you have spoken to God about it, good. But please, you do not need the permission of the society and of any other person before you dream. It's your personal exploration. You can sit in your room and ask yourself, what profession am I in? I'm a lawyer. I told someone, I said I took the liberty of asking myself, can I get to the peak of every aspect of the law part of profession that I loved? So I did my legal cases, and I worked in the litigation area for a while, both commercial, civil, and criminal. And I got all the cases that I needed to qualify me for sanship, and I put it in the pocket. And I moved into the private sector. And the height of a private sector is for you to become a company secretary. That is like the head of legal. And I did that. And I got to the point, and I became a company secretary, not just of any company, of an oil and gas company in Nigeria. I said, solid, achieved. Then I moved on to the next one. Internationally, for you to be at that peak of that, you need to be at the head of maybe a public listed company. And I did that, and I went into reinsurance. Is it possible? And I'll start us again from somewhere. I didn't grow up with, and I'm not telling you about, I walked to school without shoes. I didn't grow up with millionaires and billionaires as parents. I didn't grow up with someone who already occupied position. I was born and bred by teachers. I don't know if you know what teachers were like in those days. With their little salary, they can barely afford any other thing. So I came from that humble background. But I have never allowed my background to put my back to the ground. I have told myself, regardless of where I'm coming from, is this word for every one of us? Someone had sang the song in Nigeria. Can I permission to sing that song? He said, Dangote Olori Meji. Does he have two heads? The people that are daring, do they have two heads? No, they don't. So as long as you have your head, I believe you can. Your dream is the blueprint. And if you're going to move forward, you are going to have to allow yourself to dream. You're going to have to allow yourself. I have conceived either in my private spaces. Do I need to consult? Do I need to speak with people? Do I need to start learning? I think this is the best stage for anybody to dream. This is the stage of artificial intelligence where you can sit in your room and begin to research. What do I need for the next level? Where I am right now. We were asked a question in class today. So I do a lot of courses here or there. I just completed my MBA with University of Cambridge. And, we're having one class today. And they said, what is that one thing you would want to do, but you would not do it because you're not happy about it? And I looked at it and I asked myself, what is that one thing I would like to do? And I don't think there's anything stopping me from doing whatever I want to do. And they asked another person in class, why would you stay on a job that you are not happy with, but you cannot leave? And of course, everybody have the answer, even though I've not experienced it. Job security. How am I sure I'll get the next job? Why should I leave this one on the table? I'm not an advocate of anybody leaving their job until you've secured another better one, until you leave. But the truth is, if you're not happy doing whatever you need to do, it's a signal that you have not started. If there's an unease in your spirit, in your mind, anytime you sit down, it means there is more to you. It means even your inner person recognizes you more than you recognize yourself. Am I speaking to Nigerians today? In Nigeria, and I brag about Nigerians, I totally believe that Nigerians are endowed with a spiritual, intellectual, and different capacity. Why do I say this? If you can survive here as a Nigerian, believe me, you can cope anywhere else outside the world. The things we take for granted here, they are everything somebody else out there wants. That's why sometimes when Nigerians leave these shores, they want to come back home. One, is either you don't go with your taste bud. You always look for the African store when you're there. But when you are here, even when, national grid keeps collapsing, right? In the midst of it all, Nigerians will turn it to joke. You will laugh about it. That's the only way to live. Suicide rate outside this country is a lot. But in this country, you learn to survive. It's like being in a jungle. And you have to survive. So you're already given a blueprint of what life is for those who can dare. Because when you're not sure where your next meal is coming from in this country, then you have to be imaginative. You have to start thinking. You have to start planning. In Nigeria, you cannot be sure if your pension will be paid if you grow old, in case you are working in a sector where where you have your pension being taken away. A lot seems unsure. But the truth is, you need to dream. I think your dream is out of this world. I can see some hands. We all dream. But you move one step. You need to move from dream to what? To dare. The dream part, like I said, is the blueprint. It's the cheapest part of it. Allow yourself. Give yourself the permission to dream. And like I said, it's not an inactive operation. It actually involves a lot of intellectual planning. So you sit down and you ask yourself, who am I? What are the things that interest me? What do I want to become? If we're promised on this side of the heart 100 years or 120 years, when I leave, please don't be afraid of asking that question. When I close my eyes in death, what would I want to have achieved? When I look at my family, what would I want to change? For me, when I look at Nigeria, what will I want to change? every day. I write it. I'm writing it down for more than 12 years. When I go to a school and I look at the state of education and I ask myself, what can we do different in Nigeria? There is no single day I leave this country to another country and I'm not asking, why can't we have this in Nigeria? If we can have this in Nigeria, how can we achieve it? How do we? Do you understand? It's not just identifying the problem. It's also identifying the solution. And so I spent number of my years dreaming. And I'm asking you to do the same. As you sit here with me today, I'm asking you to ask yourself, will that time come when I leave? What do I want to leave behind? As I am right now, where do I want to operate? In your office right now, is this the last that you see? So I work for an oil and gas company that is, there are some systems that are about you have family-owned relationship. So it looks like it is never possible for you to break the rank. And when I'm writing my strategy session one time, I said, I'd like to become the CEO. It's a dream. Because are you going to ask the owner of his business to leave so that he can take over the company? But it's a dream. And I asked myself, what will it take me to get there? I'm taking you back to my Cambridge idea. I also love Nigeria. I've written so much about Nigeria. And I asked myself, what is that one thing that Nigeria is worried about so much? The economy. That's what affects every one of us. How good are Nigerians? You can't live in a country of plenty and we're still poor. I have friends that are Arabians, and I tell them, we all talk about Arab money. And I usually dare my friends. I said, a time will come when you guys will talk about Naira money. You say, Naira. Sincerely. And I kept working at it. What would make it happen? And I told myself, I need to get an MBA. I need to understand more about how to run businesses. I practicalize it with Nigerians. I once started a kuli business, even as a company secretary of an oil and gas company. And my colleague was beside company secretary, kuli. I said, the people out there are some who don't have anybody to give them that capital. How do I tell you how you can become a multi-millionaire in Nigeria if I've not gone through the same life and route with you? So I started the kuli business. And from there, we grew millionaires. Most of them have left Nigeria now. It's good. But it's good to want to the process, to dream it. But moving from dreaming to daring. When I applied to Cambridge, I believe I will be taken. You ask those questions, do you dream and you think it might not happen? I've always believed once you can dream it, you can dare it, and then you can do it. And when I got to school, majority of my classmates said, when we applied to Cambridge, we do not believe we will be taken. Cambridge. In Nigeria, I told them, I said in Nigeria, I was only Nigerian in my class. I said, in Nigeria, even when you were young, if you are reading too much, they will say, are you preparing for Cambridge? I said, so the Cambridge that they used to threaten us with, I decided to come to the Cambridge. And here was I, the black Nigerian woman. And I'm still saying this because I'm talking to women. There's nothing you cannot there. And I'm practically going a little bit into my private life so that you can see that you can actually dream and dare. And of course, for the purpose for which I wanted to do the MBA, achieved, ticked. But in the course of doing my MBA, something came calling. Another thing that most likely women would consider, I think I cannot go on anymore. Can you guess what it was? I was pregnant, or I got pregnant. Has anybody ever been in that shoe? You feel marriage is going to slow me down. Children, they will slow me down. This one will slow me down. Is it true? Very possible. I didn't say true. Very possible. But can you dare to stand out and say, even though I'm a woman, Cambridge said we need to make you a case study of how a woman can stand, go through this rigor, and emerge top of your class. How do you do that? It's about dreaming. It's about not stopping. And it's about not listening to that silent part of you that tell you you can't do it. Are we together? Can you do it? Can you think of that thing in your mind you want to do? Can you do it? Tell yourself, give yourself the permission. Say, I can do it. I can't hear you. Say, I can do it. Say, I can do it. That permission is what will lead you to listing out the steps you need to take. And that's where I'm heading with us this evening or this morning. You are going to have to list it out, the steps to my next billion. The next step. So I do financial literacy. I put people in a class and say, let's set goals for ourselves. Smart goals, not unachievable goals. Smart goals. Or I have people who would say, okay, I don't have $1 million. I've never had $1 million. Okay, so let's grow your money to 1 million. And we set out those steps and you can achieve it. And then I've had people who would say, I have 10 million, but I've not been able to break this circle of 10. I want to have 100 million. And then we set the goals. The same way I've set for myself. I tell everybody, I'm not coming from outside to talk to you. I have walked every single step. I have learned to grow my 3,500 naira kulikuli to an international product that sometimes when I get broke, that's when I remember I can sell kulikuli. If I look at my money, I say, Bisaya. Because I have people who now take it abroad. I don't even need to bother. So Bisaya, please, we need this. Kukuli during COVID went to 7 countries. I didn't even leave Nigeria 2020. So you can. And on this note, I say to us, please, dare to dream. If you need an encouragement, just chat me up on WhatsApp. I have this concern. How do I dream? Is this dream realistic? We will make it realistic. And then we will do. And at the end of the day, you will look back and say, indeed, thank God for this conference that reminded me that I dream and I do because I dare. And so in 2027, like I said, my campaign stands on that principle, Dare 2027. Thank you.
Please, we can do better than that. With the rising ovation, let's appreciate. Let's rise to our feet. Let's appreciate her, please. Wow. You can settle down. Wow. That was powerful. It feels like petrol has been added to the generator. The fire is going to start in a bit. I know that we have lots of questions buzzing through your minds, and I do not want you to lose that chain of thought. So a Slido will be on display. Please help me with that on the screen. So you would scan with your phone and you can drop your questions there. Please ensure you do it immediately so that you do not forget your question. There will be a panel session and your questions will be lifted off the Slido down to the speakers, and we're going to pick it up from there. Thank you very much, Ma, for that wonderful charge. If there's someone in this room who has not even dreamt at all, I'm sure there's something rising inside of you. And before you leave this room, you are going to begin to dare to do. Is the Slido up? Are we working on it? Can I get a signal? Anybody? Slido? Okay. So they're working on the screen. We will come back and then you can do that. Please, in the meantime, you can scribble it down on your paper so that when the Slido comes up, you can just push it off. Please, or if you have your tablet or your phone, you want to use that, it's important so that you do not lose your chain of thoughts, okay? That is the route through which we're going to take questions. While you're doing that, I want to say to you that you need to follow Weekend on social media because we're going to be doing some activities around that. The hashtag for today, hashtag Dare Dream Do, hashtag Weekend 2026. You're going to take a selfie with your neighbor because you're connecting, you're networking today, and you're going to upload it. Are you ready? So bring out your phone. Bring out your phone. Bring out your phone. Bring out your phone. Go to the person seated next to you. If they don't smile into your camera, find another neighbor. Let's do that real quick. What we're doing is we're going to upload the photo, and you're going to follow. If you have not followed Weekend on social media, this is the time to do it. Media, can I have the handles displayed? It is at Weekend, WICAN _ then NG on Instagram. So let's do that real quick. The first person to upload, just say, done. I think I have something for you. Let's do that real quick. And also the Slido is up now. Thank you very much, media. Thank you. Anybody done? If your neighbor doesn't smile into your camera, please, you have my permission to look for another neighbor. You said? Oh, go on Instagram. You're uploading your photo on Instagram. On Instagram, it's at WICAN_NG. They will upload it. You use the hashtag Weekend 2026, hashtag Dare Dream Do. The first person to finish, just say done, or with a wave of hands. Please, let people who are online know that something is happening in this room. Anybody? Done? Is your network slow? Are you done? Okay. In the meantime, I have the singular honor. She'll be coming up real quick, but let me give you just an overview as to whom she is, and she'll be joining us to give a keynote address in a bit. Unkwo Onka. You know, when she stepped into the room and I saw her outfit, I'm like, oh yeah, sure, why not? Unkwo Onka is a seasoned sustainability expert in the African creative industry. She's a winner of the CNMI Sustainable Fashion Awards for Emerging Designer in 2022. Her brand, Unkwo, is an artisanal brand at the forefront of the sustainable design movement in Nigeria, with the conservation of natural resources and the environment as label's core values. Ladies and gentlemen, with great honor, help me make welcome. You can drop your phones now. Help me welcome Miss Unkwo Onka for the next speak. You're very much welcome. Your outfit is really beautiful.
Hello, I'm glad to be here, and I'm so sorry I came late. But you had a wonderful speech before me. That story was just amazing. Congratulations for everything you achieved with the big belly. So, at the beginning of everything you want, there is a dream. And sometimes you have a dream, you've probably had one of those. It comes back over and over and over. And no matter what you do, you just can't get it out of your head. So I had one of those dreams many years ago. I used to live in the UK. And every time I would come back to Nigeria or come back to Africa, a piece of me would stay behind when I go back home. And so this dream kept coming. Go back. You can't keep complaining that Africa is this way or Nigeria is that way if you sit here. If you sit here, how do you make a difference? And so, 10 years ago, I packed up everything and I came back. And it was, I didn't do it, you know they always say do things afraid, just sleep. I didn't do it afraid, I just did it by force. Because there was nothing else I could do, nothing else was making me happy. And so I came back to Nigeria, I didn't know what I was going to see, what I was going to face. But what I did know was that I had a dream to make a difference. And so I'll tell you a little bit about this dream. So I came back and I had only one sewing machine. I came back, I was based here in Abuja. I had one sewing machine. I had no tailors. I didn't even know where to find tailors. I didn't know where to find fabric. And so I kept asking questions. And somebody told me about this market in Garki where there were lots of tailors and sort of made me believe there was like a craft market, you know, designers would set up shop there. So I went there and I found a shop. And I couldn't find any tailors, and I was just one me in the shop sewing. But after a while, you know, this isn't making sense to me. How am I going to grow if I stay here? So I closed the shop, I moved back to my flat, I turned one of the rooms into a sewing room, and by some divine, you know, whatever it was, I got one tailor who was brilliant. And so between both of us, we sat down morning, night, evening, every time of the day, and we were making things and selling. And as we went ahead, I took part in, I think I did the maybe first Lagos Fashion Week in 2015. And I came back with my sustainable idea. So back then in Nigeria, nobody had heard about sustainability, but it was something that I knew would make a difference. And so I came and I did the show, and it got rave reviews. And after that, I just kept plodding along. And then when I came back, I found that Nigeria was hard, but it wasn't so hard that I couldn't overcome all the obstacles. And so one thing I did when I got back was I had a return ticket. I just let it go. I let it go, and for the next 3 years, I never left Nigeria because I felt that if I went away, I may never come back. So I left everything, and I left my ticket, and I stayed here for 3 years. And the next time that I left to go to the UK, it was actually at the invite of Buckingham Palace. So there was an exhibition there for, I can't remember what it was called now, but it was for sustainable designers who were working in the Commonwealth countries, and there was this big exhibition. And I went, and that was the first time. I mean, all the years I'd lived in the UK, I never, ever even went inside Buckingham Palace. And here was me now inside Buckingham Palace, meeting with, I met the Queen a long time ago. So I was here meeting with Kate Middleton and with, I think, Sophie Wessex. And there were all people from all kinds of fashion backgrounds were there. And so that showed me that there was something in this dream that I had. But yet, it still wasn't enough. I didn't feel like I was making enough of a difference. And then I had this idea that if I could find people who were disadvantaged, maybe I could get them to come in and work with me. And I'm missing out something. By this time, I had now taken myself out of that little room in my house, and I had got myself a studio. And instead of one tailor and me, now there were 4 tailors and me. IDP camp, and I thought, okay, so let me go and see what I can do there. Maybe I can get 2 women to come to the studio and work with us, and maybe learn how to weave things with waste. So I go to the camp, and we have we get the women together, and 10 women signed up to work with us, and we taught them how to make rugs and fabric and all kinds of things. We're using waste. And while we were there, what I got from the women was that a lot of charities come in and they take photos and they teach them how to make liquid soap and they leave them. And it's like, what exactly are they supposed to do with the soap? How do they find a route to market? And so that was where I found the doing part of my dream. This was it. It was, for me, I had the opportunity and I had the resources and I had the contacts to take the products those women make and sell them on and feed back into the community. So we continued, and then right now I have about 20 women. It's all self-funded. I have a project called Inquo Transform Project. And what I have done is I have employed, I couldn't leave the women, so I employed all of them. And now they make things that we use in the other side of my business where we make the clothes. They do like crafts, elements for the clothes. We make rugs, we make carpets now, which there's one in Karen's office, I believe. And so that was how my dream turned into something that I could do. I just took a leap. I dared to follow my dream. And the thing about dreams is that you can have faith, you can have prayers, you can have luck. But if you don't do, then it just remains a dream. And it's very, it's not always easy to follow your dream. You must challenge yourself to do the things that you have been dreaming of every night. And you must find the courage to make a really unpopular or hard or scary decision. And at times you find that there is a cost to following your dream. Friends, family, blood, sweat, tears. It all comes with that dream. But the thing is, you must have the conviction to follow it, because if you don't follow it, then so many people get left behind. You come out with your dream, and you'll really be surprised at how many lives you affect by following your dream and doing what you feel you need to do. So since I came back to Nigeria, it has been like, I love Nigeria. Everybody who knows me knows how much I love Nigeria. It has been the best thing that I ever did. And, you know, there was a cost. I lost a lot of things. But then what I gained, I can't put it into words even, what I gained. It's been so good. So I had the Buckingham Palace event. I've been on CNN. I've been on the billboard. You know, in Times Square in New York, there's a NASDAQ billboard. I've been on the billboard. I've pioneered the sustainable fashion movement in Nigeria. I have mentored lots and lots of young designers and so many things. And I think the thing that I'm proudest of is my Transform project, working with these women from the IDP camp. Because a lot of them, when we started with them, they wouldn't talk much, they would never smile. But now we have women happy. I've given them a safe place to work, and you know, now thank you. The children go to school, and it's really difficult in most parts of Africa for women to follow our dreams. The societal pressures make it almost a taboo to dream differently from our mothers. And usually, a lot of times, just when the dream is about to get to the best part, oh yeah, wake up. And who is it? It's your husband asking you whether you made a fresh pot of soup. So you go back to sleep. I'm like, okay, I'm going back to that dream. Oh yeah, wake up. Who is it now? It's the children. One little person says the other little person stole their meat. I'm like, okay, I've sorted that out. Okay, we're good. I'm going back to sleep. Nobody should wake me. Okay. And then, just when you get in and you think, this is it, I'm going to finish the dream. Oh yeah, wake up. Who is it this time? It's your mother-in-law asking you, has my son eaten? So finding the space to dream does not always come easy. But one thing I want you to take away from here is that you have the right to dream. And the dream is not always only about you. Think about all the difference you can make, all the people that you can bring along with you. And as I end this, don't let anybody tell you that the only dreams you're allowed to have are the ones you forget when you wake up. Thank you.
Please help me celebrate so much wealth. That was really inspiring. Ladies and gentlemen, Unko Onka. A round of applause once again. That was brilliant. That was really, really brilliant. I mean, for many people, the idea now is Jakpa. Am I correct? Exactly. If you ask anybody, you randomly take sample. I want to leave Nigeria. I want to leave Nigeria. Now, someone leaves the UK, comes to Nigeria because the dream is here. So I don't know about you, but I'm beginning to see, I've always known anyways, there's so much to do in Nigeria. And you and I as Nigerians, we need to, if we can look beyond the difficulties, it's right there in our faces. We cannot deny it. Like she rightly said, the situations are there. But you must begin to look and look through and say, how do I press through? It takes the person who dares. And one of the things that make me believe that you is ready today is because you step out of your house as you came here today. So please celebrate yourselves for doing this for yourself today, bringing yourself to this room. Because what we're doing here is we're planting seeds, and we know that going forward, the crop of women and men, we see you. Every man in the house, please help me celebrate all the men in the house. We see you, right? The crop of men and women who would come out of this conference, the world is not ready. Let me hear you say the world is not ready. But they are waiting for you, Sha. Okay? All right. Please, Slido has been up. Please make sure that you have scanned it. Make sure that your questions are there because we'll be having the panel session now. And to be on the panel, it will be the two amazing speakers that we have had, Mrs. Busayo Busari and Ms. Unkwo Onwuka. And the panel will be moderated by the convener herself, Mrs. Eniola Peters. I know that you have lots of questions. So this is where you get to express your questions on the Slido. So please, if you have not done that, rightly do. We're setting this up in a bit. I'd given us a task. I'd said that we should upload a photo or a video with your neighbor. I hope we've done it. Let me see your hands up if you've done it. What network are you using? Yeah, please help me celebrate her. Before you leave today, I have a package for you at the registrations, and please pick it up before you go. And please, hello, ma'am. My lady with the beautiful natural hair. Please, let's celebrate her. She got the question correctly. Before you leave, there's something for you at the back, so please do that now. My gifts are running out already. Ladies and gentlemen, the very first panel session for today, for the Weekend Conference 2026, I will be having on the panel session Mrs. Eniola Peters. She'll be moderating it, and Ms. Busayo Busari, as well as Ms. Unkwo Onwuka. Please, let's welcome them as they come up stage for the panel session. Okay, thank you. I was going to ask for the microphone.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Maureen KG. How's it going so far? How's it going? Women, dream. Okay, I'm going to talk because I like talking, all right? I'd like to say thank you, Ms. Unkwo. I remember the first conversation I had with her, and I said, why did you come back to Nigeria? Like, why? And she was like, I love it here. I'm like, I want to go to Canada. No, but, you know, she's doing amazing things. I mean, you can just Google Unkwo, NKWO, and you see the things she's doing. When we're planning for the conference, I was looking for someone that was different. I mean, when we talk about women doing things, we're not just looking for, I mean, all of you can already testify by the two speakers you currently have. They're different, right? Are we together? Do you agree? See, the men are even agreeing more than the women. Why people agree? You know, they are doing amazing things. I've known Busayo since I was a child, like literally. You know, when you're just entering university, part one, you need the school mother. She was also a school auntie at that time. And we go way, way back. And, you know, to see that this dream of being the president of Nigeria is not now. It's been since. Like, you know when you see somebody, you're like, this person dreams to be president of Nigeria. I'm looking out for her. She has been that. So they are amazing women doing things that should spur you to do things that should encourage you and make you see that, what's wrong with me? I told Maureen KG that at the end of this conference, I want women to go home and ask, what's wrong with me? What am I doing? What should I do? What am I not doing? Okay? And I mean, they've done justice to that. So thank you so much, Ms. Nkwa and Ms. Bisayo. And Sir Akadeju, thank you so much for coming. Please let's celebrate a man that supports. Come on now. No. All right. So just have a few questions. I know some of you have questions that you like to ask. And let me just say it again, that the question doesn't necessarily need to come from what they've said. It can be a hard question, something that has bothered you for a long time. Please ask. Use the app, the Slido link, and just ask your questions. Anonymous, I'm not going to mention your name. Okay, so Ms. Nkwa, the first question I want to ask you is, what's your why? Like, you came to Nigeria, you went, you came back. There must be something. There must have been something, you know, that was just there, that kept bringing you back.
Okay, so it started from when I was probably about 8 or 9. Once in school, I remember then every year we had a topic. And one year the topic was Mother Teresa. So I don't know if you're aware of her. She, from India, and she used to look after the poor people, the poor children. She wasn't married, she had no children, but this was her life's work, and that's all she wanted to do. And then also my mother was very selfless. When my mother passed away, people who I never had seen in my life came and spoke about how my mother had helped them start a business, or she had helped them in their marriages or something. And so from a very young age, I always wanted to serve. I always wanted to do something other than for myself. And so with, like, you know, the stories that we saw when we were growing up, there's always Africans with no shoes, flies over their heads, you know, like as if there was nothing good here. And I remember the first time I came back to Nigeria when I was 10, I was like, we live in a house? Like, I couldn't believe it, because I was expecting to be running around with no shoes, lions around the corner, you know what I mean? So it just touched something, and it's like, if we don't come here and, you know, like, tell this positive story, if we don't come here and make a difference, then what? So that's my why.
Wow. Thank you so much for that. I mean, that just says that everybody has a reason. Before you can sleep at night and say, or sleep and have a dream, you should know why. Why? Why do you want that particular thing? Why do you want to have that dream? Bisayo, please, what I wanted to ask you, what I'm going to ask you, is not just what is your why, but why do you, I know why you wanted to be the president. We all know why you want to be the president. But why are you daring to doing? Because the thing is, it's not, I mean, I want to be the president of Nigeria, but hey, I'll be the president of my house. But why are you daring? It's not because you have all the money. It's not because you have all the political affiliations, but why?
Thank you. So, and thank you. I really love the angle from which you also spoke as well. Thank you, Eniela, for that question. You know, this question, and when it comes to Nigerian topic, it's something, sometimes I don't want to start, because if I start, I might not end. So I run an organization called Project One, and we do a campaign called I'm a Nigerian campaign. So I'll start from there as part of the reasons why some of these things just keep coming. Because I write a lot. There are times I'll pick a book I wrote some 15 years ago, and I realize that what I wrote there and what I'm writing now hasn't changed. The dream is consistent, it's been the same. So I am a Nigerian. That's the way I start from. That is who I am, by geographical location and where I was born and bred. I've also had the opportunity of seeing other places. Plus, right here in this room, I can see faces of Nigerians. And these are things that matter to me. So I grew up knowing that there is more to Nigeria. Even before I ever left these shores, I felt there's more to this country. You know, I don't know, I know you guys might not be from my age, but when in my own time, we heard that Nigeria is the land that flows with milk and honey.
Right.
And I was a very inquisitive child. So I was always asking, milk and honey. Where's the milk and honey? So my whole reality is different from hers. She felt we were the odd. But I felt we were okay, but no. We're not supposed to be on bike. We're supposed to be flying with all that we have. When I meet Nigerians, the intelligence, do you notice that when Nigerians go out, they shine? It might be that the environment there helps, but the truth is right from here in your DNA is what is right. So why can't I flourish in this land that I'm more comfortable with, that is home? What is the problem? And at some point I realized leadership is very important. I teach followership. I teach citizenship. I encourage Nigerians to be this. But until we get it, I couldn't stop. So I will go to the story that led me to the I'm a Nigerian campaign. My first time of leaving Nigeria, I've read so much that when you get to the airport, if you're a Nigerian, if they are checking you for 1 minute, they will check you for 5 minutes. I'm my kind of person. I said, okay, since you would like to check me for 5 minutes, before I get to that officer, I want him to know that a Nigerian is coming. So I made a cloth and I wrote, I'm a Nigerian on it, a muffler with my green passport. And I was going to UK. And you know, and I won't tell you a lie, that changed a lot of perspective for me. From the airport to the officer that welcomed me in London, to the school that I was going to, then I was going to Oxford, every single person kept saying, oh, I love your clothes, you're Nigerian. Oh, I have a Nigerian in my office, very hardworking. And I was wondering, I thought they said when they look at us outside, we are criminals. And then I got to class, and everybody was like, oh, you're Nigerian. I wore that my Nigerian. Everybody sees, a lot of people say they see me with their Nigerian muffler. I wear my Nigerian muffler more outside Nigeria than inside Nigeria because I want you to know I'm a Nigerian. And if you heard about 10,000 bad Nigerians, I can show you 100 million good Nigerians. And that was the message I was pushing out there. So that was the why. That is still the why. I believe in my country. I believe that we have so much. And I'm tired of hearing potential. I want us to see it in actual fact because those who did their countries and those countries we're running to, I know we want to go to Canada, we will go. We will go. I also advocate for Nigerians to travel. I help Nigerians even prepare their CVs to go out. And you know why I do that? Because sometimes you might not be able to change your home if you've not been to other places. If you've not seen what works there, you might not be able to transform home. So sometimes you need to appreciate that other side, then come home and make changes. It's not a political platform, but I wanted to say something that used to bother me. How can you leave Nigeria and you see this thing and you're a leader and you came back and your mind is not saying, how can I make this happen in my country? It doesn't, to me, it felt, what is wrong with our Nigerians? So all I've done, and I didn't come from money like I always say, but I've used my personal fund intentionally, self-funded all my projects, clothed Nigerian babies in homes and everything I do, put people on scholarship to challenge the leaders out there. If I, one Nigeria, can do this, you, with all the resources of this country in your control, if you can't transform this country, then there's a lot Nigerians need to still ask our leaders. This keeps me going, and until I achieve it, until I see every single Nigeria being proud of who they are, of their identity, even when they are abroad or home, that I will keep pushing out there. Be proud of your nationality. Thank you. Thank you.
I love that. Thank you, sir. Hype man. Thank you so much, Bisaya, for that answer. How many of us are proud to be Nigerians right now? Like, I don't want to go to Canada. Or does anybody else still want to go to UK? Okay. Oh, wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. I just said, let me point it out again. You need to know why. You can't just dream for dreaming's sake. You need to know why you're dreaming that dream. Because it's the why that will make you achieve it, to be honest. So that when the chips are down, the days that attention is not coming, the days that it looks like nothing is going on. And for women, most times we feel that things are not going on for us. Abi, am I the only one? Some days you wake up and you're like, God, mommy, this one, you're wifing, you're mothering, you're working, you're in-lawing, you're doing everything, and then it's like you're being pulled in million directions. Your why is what's going to bring you back to that thing you're doing. For me, my why is to make sure that everyone lives their best version. So you see me doing conferences like this, putting my head out, having trainings and doing all those things. It's not because I have plenty of money to waste. It's just because I love it when a woman is fulfilled. Because that fulfillment, oh God, it's priceless. And that brings me to the next question. Okay, so Ms. Nkwa, I'd like to ask you this. Someone asked the question and said, how do you dream in a professional career when you have dyslexia?
How do you dream in, I'm just trying to understand, in a professional career?
In a professional career. So maybe you're working
dyslexia.
9 to 5, and then you have dyslexia, and then how are you able to actually have that dream? Because now the question is, the problem is not the dare or the doing. The problem is the dreaming.
Well, to be honest, I think that you dream in the language that you understand, right? So if you have dyslexia, you understand what your limitations are. And so it's for you to like figure out, how do I fix this? So that this dream I was going to say something crazy, but this dream I'm dreaming in, I have a dyslexic, my mind is, no, wait, let me take it again. So because I'm dyslexic doesn't mean that the world is over. There are lots of people who are, like not able-bodied, and yet they still do things. And I watched once on CNN, a man that has no arms and no legs, he climbed Mount Everest. So no matter what you have, you dream in the language of that thing, and it should never be a barrier. I don't think anything is a barrier.
Wow.
So just, whatever profession it is you want to follow, find a way to deal with your dyslexia in relationship to whatever it is you want to do.
Thank you. No limitations. Not even dyslexia should limit you. It's just a condition, and you can dream. Thank you so much for that, ma'am. Besides, please, I'd like to ask you. So this person is asking, how do you dream when your family doesn't believe woman can amount to anything? And what they do is talk about marriage, and they don't allow you to achieve anything. I want to believe this person is single, because single people that are under pressure of getting married. So how does that kind of person dream? We have a lot of dream questions, apparently.
Okay, amazing. I will speak from somebody who was single, but at least now married, right? So there is always that part. So growing up, there was a part of me, I know I would get married. There was a part of me that felt, there was a point in my life, actually, that marriage was not on the table. And that's true. And then you have people around you always like, what's going on, what's that? And I had a lot of suitors at different times. So I was good with having friends, but I was not ready to commit. So my mom was always like, Alpha, is that the person? I'm like, no, I can be talking to you today, and the next thing, once I'm on my vision, I'm on my vision. And that happened for a while. So definitely there are times when you could have pressure. I don't want to address it from that angle only. First is yourself. I said something when I was speaking. I said, you don't need permission from other people to be great. Did you hear that? Please take that. You don't need permission from every other person to be great. You only need to permit yourself to be great. Someone said, I would rather apologize than seek permission. I said, Mommy, I'm sorry. But when you arrive at that destination, there is that likelihood and possibility for you to say, okay, this is where I am. So I'm a mother today. I have 2 girls. And so I'll look at it. Would there be a time that I'll tell my daughter, babe, I would want my daughters to marry early, because I think I would have preferred to have married earlier. No. And I didn't get married until I was married. I was 36 when I got married. And I would allow my daughter to be married earlier. But if my child decides not to go that way, and, there's mother, daughter, or family, that thing, how would I want my daughter to react? In this kind of a situation, I would say it starts with you. Know what you want. Let it be clear what your visions are. I'm not saying close your eyes to what they are saying, because sometimes in retrospect, I'll look back and say, okay, maybe she was right, or maybe my uncle was right. I had 1 or 2 feedbacks. But the truth is, that thing you want to do, your fulfillment will come from it more than going to settle in a marriage that you are not yet ready for, mentally and in every other way. So marriage, yeah, good on the table. But most importantly, please, this journey of life, you can go, and if you are married, this is not a discouragement. If you are not married too, your partner is very important. It will either delay you, disturb you, or be the pedal that throws you up. Do you understand? So it's a very important decision when you're married. Either you're a man who you marry as a woman who you marry as a man. So marriage is a very sensitive topic that should be for a whole day, where we come to analyze it and say, okay, what are the pros, the cons? Because there are a lot of pros and there are a lot of cons. But one person is constant in all of this. The marriage, the vision of faith in you is you. Remember, just ask yourself, who do I want to be? Keep working at it. Keep showing up. Keep being an improved version of yourself. And please, be disciplined with time. What it means is, have time for every other thing that shows success around. But that time, keep that time of growing that your dream. And when people see it, the truth is, people like good things. We all like good things. So when they start seeing results, they will start acknowledging. We used to hear words, but be focused. Give yourself permission to be great. And when it comes to marriage, just be sure that you are not listening to the pressure, because that pressure can put you out. So listen to yourself and to your greatness, and you'll get there.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much. I believe the person has gotten it. And then I just felt, let me chip in. It doesn't necessarily have to be marriage or family that is the discouragement. It could be your friends. It could be the people that you keep around you. You tell them your dreams and they're like, let us sleep again. Like she said, it's you first. Forget because nobody else can see what you're seeing. Nobody else can dream what you're dreaming. They can only respond based on what you tell them, and they don't matter in the scope of the matter. Are we together? Awesome. Thank you so much, Bisaya, for that. The next question goes to Mrs. Nkwo. She said, do you partner with NGOs on women's empowerment? If yes, how can I follow up?
Okay, so currently we are partnered with one particular NGO, and they have they deal with women's mental health. They deal with women's mental health and their health and general well-being and their spiritual growth. So we partner with them, and then every other Wednesday, they come and they have Bible studies and with our women, and sometimes they do financial education and things like that. As it is, it depends on what the NGO is. If it's something that we are not doing already, or something that would really help our women, so anything last year we lost, I think, 2 babies, and this year we lost 1. So, I mean, if there's an NGO that has anything to do with health, we're very happy to partner with them. So anything that can help grow us and then help you as well, we're very happy to partner with.
Oh, thank you so much for that. Ms. Bisaya, okay, so concerning the Kuli business, how was it like when you started? What would you advise someone who wants to go into something related?
Thank you. Kukuli, that's what I called it. It wasn't just Kuli, we called it Kukuli. So how did it go? I went into an Ife person, the Shabas, I don't know if you remember, I was in their house, and she had Kuli that she served us. I have not seen Kuli in a while before that time, and I was, I think, beginning of 2020 or end of, 2020. And so I looked at it, and I took a picture. And so whatever business you're in, I took a picture, and I put it on my WhatsApp. I was like, Kuli. And, later my husband was like, he was one who formed that name. We branded it. In fact, Kuli is registered as a business today. From, Kuli, like, it's a Kuli that is cool. And she said it was 5 or 10 for 3,500. So I was like, okay, if I buy 10, 3,500. On my WhatsApp that day, as I posted it, people have said, Kuli, I don't mind. I've not eaten it in a long time. And I bought it right from her there, that 3,500. Before I got home, I had finished selling the 10. So I said, but now I want to order more. And that's actually I enter into that business before I started going. One thing is, whatever business you're doing, you do a little bit of your environment. Every business starts from there. You start from your first circle, then you start growing it. And something I found at that time, before you go into these stores now that you now see quickly in every store, we started training in Abuja called Branding and Packaging of Agricultural Products. And that's because the difference between what you're selling and the flakes I'm buying abroad is the way it is refined and packaged. The difference between the oil in your car that you're buying or importing back into Nigeria before Dangote and the one I have is that mine is crude. What you're sending to me is refined. So you have the crude. Nigeria has the agricultural product or whatever set you're in. How do you, even if you're not refining on the industrial level, how do you repackage it? Did you see the time when someone in Walmart today, you can buy a wedu? What is a wedu in English? Ewedu. I like that. You can find gari and ekpa packaged in a different way for people to buy. What are the needs of the people in your environment? How do you make you more presentable? You know, we all like to form posh, tush. So package it, and people can take it to their workplace. It's those who like to eat it and take it to their workplace. And that was what I did. And of course, I was able to also market abroad because I just linked out to, I know Nigerians, like I said, we carry our taste board. So I chatted most of my Jackpa friends. I said, you mean that your children will never know kuli kuli all their lives? You know, some of them have never been to Nigeria. They will never know kuli kuli all their lives. Better order kuli kuli, give them a taste of your background. And that was how kuli kulis are. Really, if you see anybody coming, I don't mind buying. How many do you want? It won't get, it stays for a year. You understand? A bit of marketing, a bit of being proud of whatever you're selling. You can't have a WhatsApp and data on it. For that person, package that your thing very well. Start selling from your WhatsApp. From there, tell your friends to, let us also be helping ourselves. Move that. Also find out, because information is the gap between a poor person and a rich person. What do they know? How did they package it? The kukuli that I was sending and going around, somebody else will pick it up. In fact, some of my, because I trained some people, and some of my people picked it up and eventually got licensed to export the same product. So it's growth. It's growth. Take it step by step. Is anybody who has done something like that before? What are they doing? How can I also? They said the best of us are copycats. Samsung is copying from Apple. Apple too is copying from Samsung. Just who can stand out better? 3 cameras, 2 cameras. What are you doing different? So do something different with whatever you have, and I'm sure it will scale.
Thank you so much for that. Okay, so there's this question that I want to throw open to both of you. It says, how can I overcome the fear of the unknown? The fear of assembling teams and the fear of financial costs. So, both of you.
Can you say it again?
Okay, so how can I overcome the fear of the unknown, the fear of assembling teams, just like you spoke about getting your team, and then the fear of financial costs for projects?
Okay, so overcoming the fear of the unknown is something that you have to feel it inside. And I think most of the times, if you just take a step, just step off, and you never break your leg, you will always rise, because human beings, we have that survival instinct. And so if you just take a leap of faith, okay, I don't know, I didn't know what I was going to find, but I just knew that I was going to be okay. And then when you take the leap, you don't just leap, but you would have sort of thought about what are all the worst things that can happen if you go into the unknown. You have to go prepared. So even though you don't know where you're going, but you should at least have certain scenarios that if this happens, I can do that. And if that happens, I have a plan B and a plan C. You know, like here, where there's, I think you spoke about it, when there's no light.
Yeah.
So when I first came back, I used to get so mad. Oh, God, what's wrong with it? You know? But then I realized I was stressing myself out. And that, okay, so when there's no light, maybe we need to iron. Why don't we now work in a way that we have things, maybe buttons or something that doesn't need light. So when they take light, you just move over to this. And then when they bring the light back, you move over to that. And that way you're able to just, you know, like survive. Yeah. So that's about overcoming the unknown. About building teams, I think that has been the most difficult thing ever, because people here are not always, maybe because the marketplace is so small. So it's almost about like, oh, you have this thing, I want it. And so you bring somebody in and you hope to grow, and the next minute they leave. And if you're unlucky, they leave with all your contacts, they will leave with your tailors. So it's really difficult. Sometimes it's very expensive as well. And so if you have an office, there are always internships. We have youth service. So if you get a youth corper in, then you'll be able to see, does she fit into my vision? Does my vision fit into her? And then you can build your team that way. But it really takes a lot and is very difficult. But you have to just keep going, because for every 100 people that will leave you, one will stay.
Amazing.
And then in terms of finance, before I started my business, I wanted to dispel this myth that creative people cannot do business. We're not good business people. And so I used to watch every single business, The Apprentice. I don't know if you know, what's this guy's name? I forgot his name. There's a chef in London, I can't remember his name. But he used to go into other restaurants and see why you're not doing well.
Okay.
Anyway, so I used to watch all of that, and the things that he would come up with. So maybe he would go into a restaurant and they're like, they have 20,000 things on the menu. How can you have that? Bring it down to 5, so at least you can manage it, and then everybody knows that's what you do, and then people come to you for that thing. There's also a thing about growing organically. Like, I had nothing. I didn't have any money. Like you said, I didn't have rich parents. I had one sewing machine when I came back. Now I've got 28 staff. How did I do it? From growing step by step. And you know, when you start small, if you make a mistake, you can sort of, move along and then get better and keep growing. And so I think that sometimes business people think immediately, I need money. But if you haven't tested your product and you haven't sold anything, if you get access to finance, you will lose it because you don't have a business. So I think it's those little things. Don't try to be Otedola in a minute. Like, learn from your little mistakes and grow.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes. There's no other thing to say after what Unko has said. Because that's the truth. Uncertainty is a old model in the University of Cambridge. Uncertainty. It's difficult for anybody to say for sure that this is the outcome of what I'm about to do. Even when you have practiced it, sometimes there will be variables that will still change. Imagine you get a staff, you've trained the staff has shown so much, I'm here to stay, and when it matters most, the staff decide to leave. That's the area of getting your team. But there's something that would help when this uncertainty happen, and she had already mentioned it. One, don't rush your progress. Most times all of us want to be, and that is why we have some crimes, we want to be where we are not yet supposed to be. She mentioned something. So I probably didn't wake up saying I want to be Nigerian president. In 2021, I've been talking about it. I've been trying to learn about it. I've been studying about it. I've been traveling intentionally for it. I've been taking courses intentionally because of that. Either I arrived there, or when I arrived there, or whenever I arrived there, I would be there prepared. So there will be things that would happen on this journey. The fear will start dropping once you start building capacity for it. So you have fear today because you need to still build more capacity. You need to still learn. You need to take it slow. You need to build structure so that if anything takes out. So there are sometimes you are building a stack of things. You take something and everything can collapse. Yeah. So you learn to build in such a way that if this goes out, how will I still stand? And there will be times things will come at you. Financial could be a limitation, but finance will be a limitation because you're trying to probably expand too fast when you should still stay here. Please never be in a hurry with your progress. Please, nobody is rushing you. Take your time. Do you well. You will make mistakes. In fact, failure is permitted. But failures are not failure until you let it put your back to the ground, like I mentioned. Failures are examples of what not to do again or how not to do something again. So when things come and discourage you, look at it and say, okay, I've learned this lesson. It won't happen this way again. Yeah. Can I try it another way? Then try it another way. Keep learning. Limit your mistakes by learning from others as well. Please always also find a mentor. I do not want to end this without saying that sometimes the support system help. You need to have the support system. Sometimes you might not have a direct mentor. Not everybody will be able to reach you. If I can't reach, if I love some things I found from Uko. If I want to learn from her today and I know she will be too busy for me, I'll probably go on her page if she has some and be learning indirectly. So you pick and learn from people. If you can't access them, go to their page. If it's Samsung, you're like, are they making this money? Go to Samsung and learn. What are they doing? Do you understand? Please create that time for yourself. 2 hours of investing in yourself every day will build structure that will drive the fear away, whatever fear in whatever form, and you'll be good at the end of the day. Thank you.
Amazing. Please, can we just give our keynote speakers a round of applause? Thank you very much, Ms. Bisaya and Ms. Nkwo, for this amazing session. Where's Maureen Keji? All right. Thank you all.
Okay. Please, I think we can do better to celebrate these amazing women. They just poured from the streams of wealth of experience. You know, many times when I get the opportunity to sit and listen to people who would share information from their experience, it's like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years squashed into 5 minutes. And what do they call that kind of course? So you're in a master's class right now, and I don't want you to take it lightly. A lot of people will pay for various sessions like this, and Weekend Conference 2026 has brought everyone under this room to dish out all of this, and not just, you know, skimming stuff on Google. This is real life experience, and for me, that is really instrumental. Please help me celebrate these women once again, and help me celebrate Weekend Conference, the convener, the partners, everyone who have put in effort to ensure that today is happening. Thank you very much. Now help me celebrate the woman and the man who is seated close to you, who has been sitting in this room, taking all the necessary information. The lady in blue, her paper is filled up already. I've seen her really writing, and I want to encourage you, if you have any writing material, please ensure that you're penning something down. I observed something in this room, and I want us to celebrate someone, right? He's in the background. And while these women were talking, they mentioned, oh, some of you even agreed, family can be something that might want to hold you down, marriage, for instance. But there's someone amongst the speakers whose partner is in the house. And as she's talking, he's what? I was talking to the woman who was sitting next to me. I said, if you can find a partner that will push you, my God, there is no limit to where you can go. So please help me celebrate him. You know who I'm talking about. He's standing in a corner, but I want us to celebrate him. It's the husband of one of our amazing speakers. Amazing. Well done, sir. I love the energy and I love the push. But this is not to put anybody who is not in a relationship or who is not even thinking marriage under pressure. Don't be pressured. In fact, your family, your immediate family can be your energy. Your parent can be your energy. The fact that you're in this room today, somebody gave you that opportunity. If you're a wife in this room today, if you're a mom in this room today, you left a lot of things behind and you're here. So please celebrate yourselves one more. I also want to acknowledge the presence of some 2 young boys that I'm seeing at the back. Is their mom anywhere in this room? Where is their mommy? No, those 2. Oh, well, please let me celebrate their mom. You know, as a mom myself, when we go for events like this, or even when you go to church, a gathering where everybody has to be comported, it can be embarrassing when your child is, because everybody is looking at you like, put them in order. Put their children. So I want to celebrate you, ma'am. And I celebrate your children. These kids are learning to dream there and do even at this little age. You'll be shocked at what they're learning. Please celebrate yourselves one more time. All right, before we go into another round of speaking, we'll do something real quick now. We have a little bit over 30 minutes to do that. This is where you all get to stand up. Don't stand up yet. And we're going to be networking. You're going to get to see all that the exhibitors have in store. Just walk around, get to talk to somebody. While we're doing that, our speakers will go out. There is an interview place that is being set up. So protocol, you help me usher them for the interview, all our guest speakers. So you will need to leave your table. You will need to leave that friend that you have clinged on since you came in and look for somebody new. I don't want to see people on the same table holding hands to go to the exhibitors. I want to see connections. I want to see you build network, right? If you belong to the weekend community on WhatsApp, let me see your hands. Celebrate yourselves now. Come on. All right, so if you did not know that there's a community, now you know that there's a community, and you're going to be a part of that community before you leave here today. So the networking session starts now. All of our exhibitors are here. We celebrate them. We see you. You see their banners all over the place. So just follow the trail and follow your heart and go to where you'd like to go. Oh, Ms. Eniola would like to say something to us. Oh, to me. Excuse me. All right. So while we're preparing to go network, can I call SynLab to come and have their little talk? You have just 5 minutes. Can I have a representative from SynLab? But prepare, you're going to step out, you're going to move. We have food vendors, we have clothes, we have perfumes, we have financial agents at the back, we have the ICT people. So it's not just fashion, it's not just food. It's a holistic experience for you. Everything that you need to step out of your comfort zone. Is a representative from SynLab coming in, or they would like to take it later? Okay. All right, you have 5 minutes and your time starts. Let me not say now because they will look like I'm not a fair person. So the moment he steps on the stage, his time will start. This way, sir. You're welcome. You have 5 minutes.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to talk about SynLab here today. My name is Kelechi. She rightly introduced, I'm from SynLab Nigeria Limited. Just a brief introduction about our company. SynLab is the leading laboratory service provider in Nigeria. It was established in 2004. We have our headquarters in Germany as a group. And then as SynLab Nigeria Limited, we are headquartered in Lagos. Across the country, we have over 40 branches, which makes it possible for people to have get more access to the services that we offer. It's important to know that as a laboratory, we were the first lab in West Africa to be accredited in the 15189 standard. That's the highest accreditation any laboratory can ever get. And from then till now, we continue to maintain yearly the certification for that accreditation. Today, beyond just introducing my company, I would like to talk about a topic that is very important to all of us here, which is essentially we're promoting health awareness from the preventive point of view. We notice we live in a society where, for the most of us, we only seek medical services when we feel a certain symptoms. And we believe that at the time that symptom shows up, there's already a problem. So it's always good to be a step ahead. We in this part of the country, we don't have that habit of regularly checking ourselves. I know if I take a poll now in this hall and ask, when was the last time you just walked into the laboratory just to have yourself checked, I'm sure maybe half of this hall will not have done that. In fact, I recall some time that somebody came to our facility, and when she was done, the staff said thank you very much for choosing SynLab. Hope to see you again. And then she said, God forbid, which is the typical mentality we have here. I had to explain to her that it's not about you being sick. You can actually walk in to have yourself tested, and that's the best way to actually take care of yourself. I would close with these two stories. So there's a friend of mine. Actually, when I live here, he's the one I'm going to see now. He has prostate cancer. We met in 2020, and I spoke to him about the need for regular health checks. And from then, we were doing his wellness check every year. So in 2023, we noticed that his PSA was going up. And as at then, there was a little intervention, but it wasn't determined that it is cancer. So last year, again, he did it, and we noticed the PSA at this point was over 15. For those of us who are doctors here, you know what that means. So we took it a step further, and at the end of the day, it was confirmed that he has prostate cancer. Of course, he sought medical intervention, and as I speak to you now, because of that quick action that we took, his doctor is advising that he needs to stop taking his meds, because it's gotten to a point where it's almost as if the cancer is gone. But then the only reason why we were able to achieve that is because it was detected early. There is still a case I know, it's actually a popular figure. I'm not at liberty to mention the name, but it's someone, the name is quite popular in Edo State. Came into the facility, randomly, I was just suggesting tests for him to check, and then one of those tests was liver function test. The results came out, and we found out that there was an impairment in the liver. Let me put it that way. So we took the step forward, did some other tests, and by the time he was referred to a doctor, it was confirmed that he was in a stage 4 liver cancer. Obviously, some months later, he passed on. Now, when you look at these two stories, you can see the benefits of early intervention, and that's what we are here preaching today. SynLab has made it easy that we have packages for wellness where you don't need to bother yourself about what do I need to do. You just come in and then we do a test that checks for these things. And some of them, you don't have to do it. And when you're doing your wellness test, you don't have to do it every month. It's something you have to do once in a year. So it's very important that we take our health seriously and we look at it from that preventive angle. In essence, I'm just trying to say it's best to check before the symptoms. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. He's representing SynLab, and they're right outside. We have Zcrest Wealth. They're also here. In fact, Zcrest Wealth will be doing a talk much later, but they also have a tournament that will happen in this hall. That will be coming up much later. Sally's here, SQ College of ICT, Aura Sand, JB's Signature, Ronnie's Kitchen, if you're feeling hungry. Fit Girls Find, if you're thinking of hitting the gym. Yummy Station, food as well. Jochi's Clothing, for the children who are here. Women's Lighthouse Hub. They run a book and community outfit. Olives Botanical and SynLab, as mentioned earlier. So the networking session starts right about now. We have 30 minutes to do it. I don't want to see you seated on your seat. This is the time where you stand up. Please just look around and see what catches your attention. Meet somebody new. Find out what they do, what industry they are thriving in. And most importantly, what dream that they are going to begin to dare and to do. So we have 30 minutes to do that. Let us know when to come, circle back, and we continue with the event. Thank you very much. Our guest speakers, the protocol team would help us find our way to where the interview will be happening. Thank you.
two.
All right, right, let the music go down. This is an announcement to every one of us. Let's wrap up the networking session. So if you're outside and you can hear me, please find your way back, make your way back to your seat. If you know someone who's on your table who is yet to be back, kindly text them and let them know that we're starting in less than 5 minutes. So let's all come in. There'll be another time where you get to go to meet the exhibitors to see what they have for you. I see solid conversation going on at the back. Let's all come settle in. If you know somebody who is on your table who is not yet back, please help me text them. Tell them that we are starting now. We have less than 5 minutes. Our next speaker is ready, and we'll continue the conference proper in less than 5 minutes. Please, let's make our way back to our seat and settle down while we continue for this conference. Thank you. Hi. So I came back up because I'm not seeing movement of people coming to their seats. So I might have to be on this microphone until I see that the seats are filled up again. Please, if you're outside, it's time to make your way back into the hall. There'll be another round of opportunity to go get what you need, especially if you have found what you like. I know how we can be. When you have found what you like, you want to negotiate and get the best. But please, our primary goal is to come settle down and let's continue the conference proper. So please, as an exhibitor, if somebody is standing in front of you, help me tell them to come and sit down. They can come back later. If you're outside by the food stand or Thin Lab stand, whichever place you are, if you can hear me, please come settle down in the hall. Our next speaker will be coming up shortly. Meanwhile, we've come a long way. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. If you're happy and you know it, give 1 clap. Some people give 2. If you're happy and you know it, give 4 claps. If you're happy and you know and you really want to show it, if you're happy and you know it, stand up. Ah, wow. Are we eating this afternoon? Looks like some of us are. Do you want to shake our body a little bit while standing? If you're happy or you know it, give your neighbor a hug. If you're happy or you know it, go to the next table and give another neighbor a hug. Go to the, not your table, oh. If you're happy and you know it, and you really want to show it, if you're happy and you know it, hold somebody's hands and say, I'm happy to see you. All right, we're back alive. Women in Career Advancement Network Conference 2026. You see, this table, oh God, this table, every other table, see yourself. Weekend 2026. What's happening on this side of the hall? Weekend 2026. Don't help them, oh. Just wait. This side of the divide. Weekend 2026. They are coming up. Let me go to this side. Weekend 2026. Oh my God. Everybody, weekend 2026. All right, celebrate yourselves one more time. I said celebrate yourself. So if you can hear me, it's about time to come in. The next speaker will be coming up shortly. And after that, there will be another speaker. And right after that, there will be another panel session. Do not forget, use the www.slido so that you can upload your questions. I'll encourage you to do that as each speaker is giving their speech. That will help you not to lose your chain of thought as we go on. We still have Orifie Uyo and Seyi Abiodun, Dr. Seyi Abiodun, who will be speaking with us today. It's still well packed. There is no need to be in a hurry to go home. You're in good hands. And by the end of today, you know that you're in for something amazing. Now, I'd like to pick our brains a little bit. So far, you've heard a lot of things. But what's that one thing that has stayed with you and will go home with you and will stay with you for a while? I need an extra microphone because I want it to go around. I want to see where our head is at. So I'm asking, I need a volunteer who will help me pass around the microphone. I need a volunteer, please. Thank you. All right, so I'm asking us, we've had 2 wonderful speakers, 3 in fact, including the convener, and they've said a lot of things, quite a number of things. They've charged us. But what is that one thing that will stay with you for the longest? If I don't get volunteers, I'm just going to come and carry you. Please help me give my beautiful lawyer lady. Oh, sorry, ma. So we're asking, what is that one thing that will stay with you? Okay.
Failures are permitted. The examples of what not to do again. I think that would actually stay with me.
Amazing. Failures are permitted. That's very instrumental. Thank you. I have a volunteer here.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
You do not need anyone's permission to be great.
You do not
Need anyone's permission to be great.
So whose permission do you need then?
Your own permission.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. I need more people to speak to me. Okay, just beside her. All right, and then...
When you build capacity and structure, fear falls away.
Capacity and structure. Fear would just sieve out like that. We have a volunteer. That's really, really great. I need more hands, though.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
You should never be in a hurry in the journey of success. Believe in the process.
Absolutely. Do not be in a hurry in the journey of process. Believe in your process. Any other person? I want that table. An interesting conversation is going on that table. Please help me pass the microphone to... Yes. I like the lady in green. Yes. What is that one thing that will stay with you of all the things that have been spoken in this room today? If you are sleeping like this, you'll just be seeing it.
Okay, one thing that will stay with me is when she mentioned that we should do something different and we should not be scared of copying competitors and improving with what we copy.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That's really great. Thank you very much. I have someone at the back. Okay.
Thank you. One thing that will stay with me is don't let your background put your back on the ground.
That's very spot on. Thank you very much. 2 more people and then we move. All right.
Okay, I learned that it's good to have a good support system.
Absolutely.
And also have like a mentor.
And a mentor.
Yes.
That's really instrumental. That's good. And our final contributor.
Learn from your mistakes and grow. That's what I learned.
Learn from your mistakes and grow. A round of applause for yourselves. It's good to know that we are following. We are following, and that's really impressive. Our next speaker is an executive coach for women in leadership. She helps women rediscover meaning so that they can design, build, and live a life alongside career, a life that is meaningful and authentic. She helps them identify and achieve their fullest potential while maintaining a happy marriage and a home. Usually, that's one of the biggest challenges for women when they transition into marriage. It becomes a bit rocky, you know. And if you do not have the right information, the right network of support system, that can either crash some people's dream, but if you're lucky, if you're that blessed to that degree, it can be the propeller for you. Ladies and gentlemen, okay, she'll be joining us shortly. For some of you, you followed her on social media, you've seen her work. For some of you, perhaps she has even mentored you at some point. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure that I bring up stage Orifie Uyo. Please, a round of applause for our next speaker.
Right. Good afternoon. How are we doing? How are we all doing? Fantastic. I'm super glad to be here today. So let me wear my glasses. Itching myself. Sorry, I can't see without them. Right. So I'm really excited to be here today. I hope that it carries over. Where does my time start? So give me 2 minutes to just chat, and then we start after that. All right, cool. Right. So I think this is... So our host last year, we talked about my being here, but I don't know what happened. Can't remember what happened, but I couldn't be. So when she called me again this year, I was like, I have to be here. And then when I saw the theme, I'm like, that is it. That is the absolute most perfect theme. If there was such a thing as the most perfect theme ever. So I'm really glad that I'm here with you all today. So big, big ups. Oh gosh. So I'm going to keep doing this. So I can't see with my glasses, but I can't read without them. So I have to take them off to look at you, and then I have to wear them to see. So I'm going to keep doing this dance. Right. So thank you so much to our host, and I've already told her I'm really proud of what she's doing. Right. I'm not sure there's another group that brings together women in this demographic in Abuja. So that's career women, right? Abby? Professionals? Answer me now. Abby, does that know who you are? Yeah, okay. So I'm not sure there's another group that brings together women intentionally, right, for development, for just generally growth. So I think it's absolutely awesome what you're doing. So thank you very much. And to each one of you who came and who have stayed up until this time, I think you need to clap for yourself. So I'll give you 10 seconds to do that. Right? So I appreciate all of you. And I think I appreciate it because I'm part of you. I'm one of you. Yes, so I've been a career person for, I don't want to age myself, but almost 20 years now. I've been in the career space, yes. And even what I'm going to talk about today is actually an offshoot of that. So I love you guys because I'm part of you. And I sense that some of the things that I had to go through, I want to believe that some of you are going through that space as well, right? So I'm going to share my story. I've turned into a storyteller in my middle age. Let me apologize in advance. Right, so I'm going to tell a few stories, but I love us to be interactive, right? So can we get going? Is that okay? Do I have your permission? I need you all to get off your phones, except you're taking pictures of me, of course. Yeah, in which case you can't. All right, so let's get started. So story. Once upon a time. Aha. Right, so the date was December 31, 2017. Does anyone remember where they were on that day? Perhaps not. But for me, I can never forget, because I can say that's probably the day my life changed. So December 31 in Nigeria, what do we do on December 31? If you're crossover service, cigarettes. Right, so my family and I would go on crossover service, and what do? We sing, we dance. Happy New Year! Yeah, all of that. And then we go home, so like maybe 1:30, 2 a.m., we go home. And some of my kids are here, so everyone has gone to their room. And I went to my room as well. But for some strange reason, I couldn't go to sleep. So I had a rocking chair. I sat in my rocking chair, and I just burst into tears. Now, it's not the tear that you do. It wasn't that kind of tear. It was that kind of tear. It was the full-on ugly cry. Like, I can just say like wailing, you know. And so my husband was, man, he was looking at me like, from where to where? He just, and he was trying to come to, I said, I couldn't even talk. I just said, like, this is not about you. Just leave me be, right? And I wailed, and I wailed, and I wailed, and and it wasn't about him, like I said. It was all about me. And what was it about? At that point, I think my cup was just full. It was just something that I'd been carrying for years and just managing and just, you know. And at that point in time, I think it had reached here and needed to come out one way or the other. And what was the issue? Because if anybody had asked me at that time, what was the actual issue? I couldn't have told them. But what had happened was, I'd done everything that they had told me to do. I'd done everything. And what they tell us to do. That's why I said I feel like you guys are like me. So even when I say it, if you've done it as well, just say tick. So what they say, if you're a good person, or if you're a good girl, or if you're, you know, going to have a good life, what should you do? Number one is what? Go to school, isn't it? Go to school. Okay. Get good grades. Okay. Marry. Okay. Have tick. Okay. All right. Have children. Okay. Have boy. Have girl. Okay. Get a good job. If I'm not sure. Okay. Yeah? Buy house. Buy car. Just be walking. Uh-huh. So I've done all of those things. And I was at the point where, so the question that was driving me, and I think driving me crazy at that point in time, is that, is this it? Isn't this what they've been saying that we should do since? Ngo, I've done everything. But are you now telling me that this is what I should do for the rest of my life? And my spirit violently said, no, I can't do this. So that was what was coming out. So if anybody had asked me, and it took me a while to even understand that was what was happening on that day, because I didn't know, I couldn't explain, I didn't know what it was, right? But that was actually what it was. So do you want to know what happened next? Do you want to know? Okay, I will tell you. But first, do you know that over 90% of women in particular, never achieve their full potential? Studies have actually shown that women in particular, because of all of the different things, all of the different roles that we play, end up getting to the end of life and having regrets. Oh, I wish I did this. Oh, I could have done that. Oh, because of my children. Oh, because of this. But they end up not doing it, right? Why do you think this is? I've said some reasons, but what do you think about that statistic? I want to look at your faces now. What do you think about that statistic? Do you think it's true? Do you think it's true? That table you purchased. Do you think it's true? Yeah? So I want to now put it together for us all, because I want to get to our theme and how it impacts each and every one of us. And I want to make sure I do it within the time. God helping me. Yeah? So I have another story. Should I start? Okay. Story. Once upon a time. Okay. So this is a story. It's not my story now. The story of a young woman. And I think most of us may know her when I tell the story, but I'll paraphrase it. So this is a young woman who lived a long, long time ago. And her story has been passed down for generations. She was a young girl, but she was very beautiful. Like, she was, she was a babe. Let's put it that way. Right? But life happens as it normally does, and she lost her parents, tragic circumstances. Thankfully, she had a relative who stood up and took her in, her uncle. And I think based on that, she was very obedient. Doesn't argue, doesn't fight, doesn't give anybody any trouble, just to make sure that, the people that have taken her in, they don't regret it. So she was very good, really, and everyone loved her. Everyone loves people that don't argue with them. Yeah, everyone loved her. So just do what is required of you. So when she got into the palace, she continued doing what she always done. Obedient, quiet, calm, compliant, just doing what everybody wanted. And of course, she still got favor, right? Everyone loved her. Even the guys that were, training them, gave her secrets. They said, oh, do you like this, wear this, do that, you know. She just got fantastic things. So when she finally went before the king, of course, favor. She was made queen. Success. And all was going well with her. She lived her quiet, obedient, not ruffling any feathers, queen life. Until life came calling, as it usually does. Somehow, as it would happen, there was a plan to kill her people, and the only way to stop it was for her to go before the king. Only problem, there was a rule. Anyone who went before the king without being summoned would stood the risk of being sentenced to death. Right. So now you say it's her husband now, what's the big deal? Now, but that king was very erratic. You know, you never know what direction it's going to come from. Just behaves anyhow. Right? So she was really afraid, and rightly so. Then her uncle came to beg her, said, look, you are the only hope that we have. You have to intervene in this situation. But she explained again very logically that she's an obedient person. She has to comply with the laws of the land. She doesn't ever do anything that is not right. Right? Everyone knows you don't go to the king if he doesn't call you. And then the uncle said something which I think entered into her bone marrow and changed her life forever. He said, if you keep quiet, perhaps deliverance will come from another source. But again, perhaps you are in the kingdom for a time such as this. In other words, perhaps this is your entire purpose. Perhaps this is the entire reason you were here all along. I think people know who I'm talking about now. What am I talking about? And Esther, good students, fantastic. Yes, so now we have been telling stories, and I want to tie it into our theme of Dream, Dare, Do. So I've titled this Dream, Dare, Do as a Purposeful Professional Woman. Okay, for such a time as this. So for me, that is not only my personal anchor scripture for this year, but perhaps for my whole life, right? Because it means that there's a reason that I'm here. And I think for each and every one of you that's in this room, there's a reason you're here as well. Some will think, oh, I just saw the flyer, and I thought I should come. Somebody invited me. No. There's a reason you are here in this room, in this year of our Lord 2026, in this blessed country of Nigeria, in this beautiful location of the bush in Abuja. There's a reason that you are here, right? And every single one of us has a purpose, and we have been designed for that, right? The challenge is that we don't know what it is. And I don't know if men have that problem. I've never been a man. I don't have that experience, right? But I think women in particular struggle with that. Not only because of the different roles that we have to play, people pulling at us from different angles, but the expectations. From the time you are little, everybody tells you what you are supposed to be. Who you are supposed to be a good girl, to be a good wife, to be a good this, to be a good that. Everyone is telling you all the time. So we are told so much that you then somehow forget who you are on the inside. Or perhaps you've never taken the time or the opportunity to even know about yourself. So that's what we want to do today, right? So we're going to take it, dream, dare, do, and I'll try and be as quick as possible. Now, the problem, and I want to share that, the problem of not knowing yourself, of not understanding your purpose, of just living, what my coach would call a slide by life, okay life, that, it could be anybody, copy and paste life. The challenge is that you get to the end of your life and you ask yourself, is this it? Right? If I wasn't here, will anybody have noticed? And it's not true. The fact that you're on God's earth means that He put you here for a reason. There's something inside of you that is actually for the whole world.